1. The arrival of the Moors, 711 AD, a realistic depiction of Tariq ibn Ziyad, a North African general, and his Moorish army crossing the Strait of Gibraltar. Show heavily armored warriors with curved swords and banners, disembarking from small, rustic boats onto a rocky, Mediterranean coastline. The sun is just rising, casting long shadows. In the background, the silhouette of the Rock of Gibraltar is visible. Focus on the determined expressions and the rugged details of their attire. 2. The splendor of Al-Andalus, Córdoba, a highly detailed, realistic shot inside the Great Mosque of Córdoba during its golden age. Show countless elegant, striped arches stretching into the distance like a stone forest. Sunlight streams in from high windows, illuminating dust motes and creating a play of light and shadow on the polished floor. Diverse figures are present, scholars reading scrolls, people in rich, flowing robes, and perhaps a Christian or Jewish visitor observing respectfully. The atmosphere is one of serene grandeur and intellectual activity. 3. The Reconquista begins, Pelayo at Covadonga, 722 AD, a realistic, gritty depiction of the Battle of Covadonga. Show a small, desperate group of Asturian Christian warriors, led by Pelayo, fiercely defending a narrow mountain pass against a larger, better-equipped Moorish army. Emphasize the steep, rocky terrain and dense vegetation. Rain and mist are present, adding to the grim, determined atmosphere. Focus on the raw intensity of close-quarters combat and the faces etched with resolve. 4. The heroism of El Cid, Conquest of Valencia, 1094 AD. A powerful, realistic depiction of El Cid, Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, on horseback, leading his knights into the city of Valencia after its conquest. He is clad in worn but formidable armor, a resolute expression on his face, holding a banner high. The city walls and architecture show signs of siege, with a mix of Moorish and emerging Christian influences. Cheering Christian soldiers and a mix of hopeful and apprehensive citizens line the streets. Golden light of late afternoon illuminates the scene. 5. The grand finale, Fall of Granada, 1492 AD. A somber, realistic scene of King Boabdil, the last Nasrid ruler of Granada, surrendering the keys of the city to Queen Isabella of Castile and King Ferdinand of Aragon. The handover takes place outside the walls of the Alhambra Palace, under a clear winter sky. Boabdil, in regal but somber attire, looks downcast. Isabella and Ferdinand, in rich, royal garments, stand with an air of triumphant solemnity. Christian banners are unfurled. In the background, the stunning architecture of the Alhambra is visible. 6. The Alhambra Decree, Expulsion of the Jews, 1492 AD. A poignant, realistic depiction of Jewish families being expelled from Spain. Show families, carrying what little they could, walking slowly and sadly along a dusty road. They are dressed in period clothing, their faces showing sorrow and uncertainty. In the background, a distant Spanish city skyline. The lighting is melancholic, perhaps a setting sun casting long shadows, symbolizing the end of an era. 7. Christopher Columbus's departure, 1492 AD. A dramatic, realistic depiction of Christopher Columbus standing on the deck of the Santa Maria, one of his 3 ships, as they set sail from a Spanish port. Show the bustling port with crowds waving goodbye, smaller boats in the foreground, and the other 2 caravels, Pinta and Nina, following. Columbus is resolute and determined, gazing westward. The morning sun glints on the sails and the water, full of hope and the unknown.